Evening, folks, and welcome to the match day preview for Leeds United's final friendly of the 24-25 season as we head into the first game of the season next week at home to Portsmouth. It's nice for people to get back into Elland Road after a pre-season where not a lot of people got to see Leeds playing. It'd be nice to see everyone back in a good atmosphere and what is now becoming a mainstay in Leeds preparations for the beginning of the season. I'm joined as always by Andrew Stats Dalton, my co-host for this program, to look ahead to the Valencia game. Stats, how are you and how has your week been?
Busy as always. Prepping ahead, of course, for the new season, which is now only, well, for Leeds, it's 8 days away. I know next Friday night there are some games in the Championship. Obviously, it's been a busy week in Leeds United circles with the impending move of Somerville to West Ham United, the victory over Schalke last weekend, and the preparation ahead of the final pre-season friendly against La Liga side Valencia. So yeah, I've also had a bit of a haircut as well. So I've had a trim ahead of the new season. Lost a bit of the mullet, shall we say, on top. And I'm also very much looking forward to getting my meet into another programme column on the history of Leeds United captains this year. Very honoured yet again to write for the club programme throughout the season. So yeah, very much looking forward to it. Lots to get our teeth into, and a good test tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock at Elland Road as Leeds go in search of their final pre-season victory, which will make it 4 from 4 ahead of the big kickoff against John Machino's Portsmouth a week tomorrow.
Yes, and it wouldn't be a normal week, Andrew, unless I asked you about some of the news that's been going on this week as well. We have the impending exit, as you've touched upon, of Crescencio Somerville. Wanted to get your take on that and how you're feeling about the situation.
Yeah, I think as a fan, we probably all knew that once the final whistle went at Wembley against Southampton, the Cree would probably leave the football club. It's very difficult when you're in the Championship to match Premier League wages, unfortunately, and that's the crux of the matter, really. I think it's a question that Leeds have just got to get the best potential deal from West Ham United. It does look like it will go through. I know Graham Smythe tweeted, and so did Berren this afternoon, it'll either go through late on tonight or sometime tomorrow. Disappointing, obviously, to lose your player of the year. Last year, I think he had over 30 goal involvements, but life moves on, and it's part and parcel of football, unfortunately. Players come and go. Leeds aren't the only club that will lose players. In England, every team does. Even Manchester City at some point will probably lose players and have done in the past. So yeah, it's disappointing. It is. It gives the opportunity potentially for Willie Gnonto to step up, Dan James possibly step up, Brendan Aronson to come back into the fray after his season out on loan last season. So we have got options there. But I'm absolutely certain that Leeds will be looking behind the scenes at potential replacements. And from reading what we've read over the summer, it does look like they have got replacements lined up. It's not a case of where we were this time last year that we were panicking and what was it? Bamba Dieng was going to come in. Am I right?
Cody Gakpo, then Bamba Dieng, then it was Gnonto.
And then it was Gnonto a couple of summers ago, wasn't it, in 2022. So we're not panicking at this moment in time. There's another month to go yet before the transfer window closes. And I'm always philosophical when players go, because we've been through it all down the years, and it's football. It's part and parcel of the game, and that's it, really, isn't it? That you're in the Championship and the Premier League comes calling. It's very difficult to turn the money down. And I'm absolutely certain the 49ers enterprise will have a plan in place. And I'm sure we'll see a replacement. Maybe not this week before Portsmouth, but I'm hoping by the time we kick off at the Hawthorns in a couple of weeks' time for our first away game of the new season. So I'd like to thank Somerville for all his goal involvement. Certainly last season, it was absolutely fantastic and scored some wonderful goals. And wish him all the best once the transfer to West Ham does go through.
Yeah, it's expected to be announced either late tonight or tomorrow, according to Graham Smith. And there's a very good long read piece that Graham put out, retweeted earlier on. And just talks about the situation that Leeds are in and what the 49ers, and in it he says, from speaking to higher ups at Elland Road, they're aware of the fan sentiment right now. They understand what needs to be done, and they understand if things aren't done, what the reaction from a section of the fan base will be. So they're very aware of that, but they also said that they won't be rushed and they've got time, and they'll use that time wisely to get the right person in rather than a panic move to just get somebody in the door. This
Correct.
is a case of getting the right person, the right
Yeah.
profile. They do know there's 3 areas that they need to fill. The fullback situation needs to be added one to that. They need to add a central midfielder, which Daniel Barker himself has said out loud. And they will need to now replace Chris Somerville. You know, they did say before, as if a big player leaves, they will replace them with a similar profile of player.
Yes.
That's not to say a big money signing. That's a profile of player, a player that can do similar things. Or, again, as Graham Smith said, as Baron Cross said earlier on today, it might not even need to be a winger, because with this, if Barker goes with his 3-4-3, he might bring in a 10 instead. If he decides to put Willie on the left, might sort that out as well, and that's his favorite position. Or he could bring Georgina Rutter and play him out on the wing as well. There's so many options in that front area there.
Absolutely.
We are definitely not where we were last season, playing Leo Hill, the left back, and Jamie Shackleton right back. We're in a situation now where, assuming everyone's okay, you've got 2 or 3 options per position in the front 4 positions, which is massive as well. And the defense, on paper, Bogle with a backup of Byron for left or right back, Freppo, Strouk, Rodon, and Vober. Probably one of the best backlines you'll see in that division as well. So, we have a little bit of time. They might not bring anybody in before Portsmouth, but they will bring people in. They will bring bodies in. The big thing for me is going to be they need to make sure they don't repeat the mistakes of the past, and they don't leave themselves short in a position to think that they have enough to get by.
Very much
we have players with injury records as well to consider. Barker has said that out loud himself. So for me, they are very aware of what needs to be done right now. For me, that is still a very good side, even without Chris Somerville. And we haven't started any of the preseason games with Somerville in the team.
Correct. Yeah.
So he's been planning for this as well.
Yes. And look, I'm still not a Eric Cantona moving to Man United in October 1992 or November 92. So Somerville, or even Jonathan Woodgate leaving, which was a real kick in the teeth back in January 2003 when Peter Isdale did that famous press conference with the late Terry Venables saying we lived the dream and etc. etc. But players come and go. You look at Sheffield United, they're losing a lot of players, and they've come down from the Premier League. So I just feel there is a natural reaction because of social media. It's instantaneous, and people are very quick to kind of jump on the bandwagon, so to speak. We've not even kicked the season off at the moment. No. And we've got a game tomorrow. I'm intrigued to see how the lineup. I will give you what I feel the lineup will be very shortly tomorrow. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it. I'm always positive in a new season. We had an exceptional season last season. We're very lucky to fall both in the automatics and the player final to Southampton. But yeah, I always get this sense of anticipation, sense of excitement ahead of a new campaign. And Somerville or no Somerville, I do believe the squad is in a good place. And you look at the goals that they've scored in the games that they've played against Hoffenheim and Schalke, Hanover and Schalke, that they've been looking good. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it. It's a new season, it's a fresh start, and they have to get off to a good start. And we'll talk about this more next week out of the Portsmouth game and the Portsmouth preview. But yeah, I'm positive. I'm always positive, and I did feel last season we were a little bit short, but I don't think it was our time to go up. I'm hoping this time, come 12 months' time, we'll be talking about a potential Leeds United versus Manchester City opening day of the season Premier League clash in 25-26.
Yeah, I'm the same as you. Optimistic and positive. Preseason's been good. Just to identify the message from Paul here. They have said they've identified people, but they also said they wouldn't be bringing anybody in unless someone left. So the replacement was never coming in until he's gone. And as of right now, he still hasn't signed a contract with West Ham, and he still isn't a West Ham player. So Leeds will bring in a replacement in when the player leaves. Right now, they haven't received a penny for him, and he hasn't gone anywhere yet. So until that's confirmed, which it is expected to happen, then Leeds will move for their replacement targets. But don't be expecting £25 million wingers coming in, because that just doesn't happen in the Championship. And I'd be shocked if Gabriel Sara is even close to Leeds' radar. I would genuinely be surprised the kind of money you're looking at for him. So sit and wait. You've got plenty of options there. We're playing Portsmouth day one. You'll have Willie Nanto potentially on the left in his preferred position. Dan James on the right. Georgie Rutter on the 10. You've got Brendan Aronson floating around there as well. We're okay to wait a week or two. Let's not panic and rush and get the wrong kind of player in. Somebody like a Ryan Kent who's been mentioned continuously, and I've dealt with in the news video today. It ain't happening. He's played one game in 25 for Fenerbahce, and that came off the bench, and he never played again after that. Jose Mourinho gave him one half of football in a European qualifier, took him off, and then said he can go. So That's a panic move. That's a panic. Jaden Anthony to a degree, although he had a lot of personal issues last year, and which he could not be helped. But he was brought in as a panic replacement for Sinistera leaving at the last minute, and then we saw very little impact from that position. Leeds need to get it right. They need to get it right, and they need to be patient and need to be calm. And then we'll judge it all with our eyes then when we see it. There's a lot of names floating around. We will wait and see. I always feel with the 49ers, there's lots of names, but it'll probably be a name we haven't heard. Like Largy Ramzani's been mentioned from Manchester, from former Manchester United player, was over in Spain. Decent young profile of player. Hamilton from Manchester City was mentioned this morning. Again, exciting young attacking player.
Yes.
Not everyone wants young players they've never heard of. Just because you haven't heard of him doesn't mean he's not a very good footballer and wouldn't have a big impact. But a lot of players came into Leeds that fans hadn't heard about before they got here, and they did fine. Ben White being a prime example of that as well. So there's plenty. We've got lots of time. Let's not panic.
Yes.
But Andy, let's talk about the game that we've got coming up tomorrow. It is our first chance to see a full Elland Road with a pretty much a new look Leeds United starting 11. Like, I keep looking at squad numbers. You've got a new number 2, a new number 5. Number 6 is still empty. Someone could pick that one up at some point. Cooper's old number currently empty. You've got a potential new number 10 now as well. We've got Mateo Joseph wearing the number 19 shirt as worn by Pablo and Rodrigo as well. So lineage in that shirt. So it's a very different looking Leeds team and potentially some players starting the game that could start against Portsmouth. And I feel the team that we'll see tomorrow against Valencia will be very close to the starting 11 we see against Portsmouth on the opening day. What do you feel about that, Andy? What's your thoughts on that?
I think it's another step up, isn't it, from the teams that we've played, obviously, the Harrogate, the 2 German sides, in Hanover and Schalke, and it's an opportunity to play probably against, I wouldn't say top quality La Liga side, to finish 9th in La Liga last season, but it's certainly a step up from the Bundesliga 2 sides that we played over the last week or so. And I'm looking forward to getting back to Elland Road for the first time since the Norwich City 4-0 victory back in May. And I think it gives an opportunity possibly for the likes of Joe Rothwell and Jayden Bogle to sort of sample Elland Road for the first time this in a Leeds United shirt. So I know they've obviously sampled it in opponent shirts, and I'm looking forward to it. I think it's a game to give Daniel Farke the last opportunity before the Portsmouth game, and I think we'll probably see his strongest 11 out there. The big question mark for me is who does he start up front, whether it'll be João Pirou or Mateo Joseph. Personally, I think he might go Mateo Joseph. I think he's been absolutely brilliant in pre-season, but so's João Pirou, and it's nice to have those options out of a new season. But it'll be very interesting to see that the starting 11. Personally, I think I'll still see Meslier in goal. I think he'll go a back 4 of Jayden Bogle, Joe Rodon, Pascal Struijk, who's not played at Elland Road since his injury back in this year, and Junior Firpo. I think you'll then see Ethan Ampadu and Joe Rothwell sort in the 2 in the pivot. I think you'll then potentially see Willie Nonto, Jorginho Ruta, Brendan Aronson. I think will probably start. And then it's a big question mark, isn't it? Who do you go up top? Do you go Joseph or do you go Bamford? And I think potentially might get, not Bamford, Joseph or Pirou. And I think he'll probably go Mateo Joseph. So, and then we don't know how fit Paddy is. We'll probably find a bit more out tomorrow because I know the managing his minutes at the moment. He's not played any pre-season at the moment. So that'll be an interesting one on Dan James as well. He sat out last couple of games as well. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it, and we'll see where we are in terms of progress. Nothing is decided tomorrow. Result is kind of irrelevant a little bit. Just building up the minutes and building up the fitness in the players' legs ahead of what's going to be a very tough week, I'm sure, on the training ground ahead of the visit of Portsmouth next weekend. So it's exciting. It's an opportunity for the fans to get back into Elland Road, to see the new signings, and let's see what level we're at. And yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it against a Spanish side that is managed by Ruben Baraja, who featured in the still in the squad for Valencia way back when in 2001 when Leeds met them in the Champions League semi-final in the two legs, and they were beaten 3-0 in the Mestalla by, still to this day, that Juan Sanchez first goal, which was clearly handball, that the referee unfortunately missed it. A lot went on in those two legs. Lee Bowyer got banned when I thought it was very unlucky to get banned. Juan Sanchez scored with a certain handball. The second goal was absolutely brilliant, and then Gaiki Mendieta finished Leeds off with a third goal, and wonderful run under Dario O'Leary's side as well. So a little scores to set. We've never beaten Valencia at Ellen Road. They've always been drawn games, and we've never lost to Valencia. And that includes the friendly in 2004 when Matthew Spring and Simon Walton scored and then got sent off. So lots to look forward to. Feeling very positive ahead of the new season, and let's see where we are sort of come 5 o'clock tomorrow. And then we'll get back down to training on Monday. And I think we may even see a new signing, hopefully, touch wood, ahead of the Portsmouth game next Saturday lunchtime.
Yeah, I think if one came in before Portsmouth, it would settle the nerves of a couple of people. But I wanted to real quick, and Andrew's put this really good comment up going, since Pablo left, we've never properly replaced him. What I would also say is players like Pablo Hernandez are 1 in a million, and every club and their mother is trying to find one of them. And we only got Pablo at the very end of his career. So these players are few and far between. Everybody would love a Pablo, but they're not always available. And that's pretty much what Ems is saying here as well. Pablo was irreplaceable. May as well stop trying to replace him. You just get different players in and hope that one of those pops up at some point in the future. We rarely had a Pablo. It's like trying to replace John Giles when he was in that team. You're not going to. You got to hope in the future you might.
He was 1 of a million, was Pablo, isn't he? He was that special player that could literally turn a game. He's the only player ever to win, I think, 3 Player of the Years in a row, and that shows how special he was. And I remember when he signed in Gary Monk's season at Ellen Road, and he was unbelievable. And he got a wonderful reception in his last game, didn't he, against West Brom back in May 2021. So, it's very difficult to replace those kind of players because they only come along once every 15, 20 years. So love Pablo, still love Pablo now, and I'm sure we probably could still do a job. But it's difficult to say we'll never replace him. You've got different types of players, and different managers have different systems as well. So let's see what we get tomorrow. And it's actually the Pablo Hernandez. Did he ever play for Valencia, or I made that up?
I think he played for Valencia. He did play for Valencia.
Yeah, it's the Pablo Hernandez. There you go.
Yeah. But I wanted to talk about the team as well. You mentioned what you believe the team sheet to be tomorrow. And I wanted to talk about the depth because there are people like this kind of stuff that think we're skint when we're just not. We're a championship club that are very tight PSR stuff, and we have to be careful not to get point deductions. I really am getting to the point where the negativity is really starting to bother me because I'm not that way inclined, and I get bombarded with it every day from every angle with people tagging me and stuff and telling me that the house is on fire when it's not. This is the Leeds potential starting 11 plus bench tomorrow.
Yes.
Let's say starting 11. Melier in goal.
Yeah.
Right back, Jayden Bogle.
Yeah. Centre
back pairing of Joe Roden and Pascal Struijk. Probably one of the best centre half pairings in the entire division. Left back, Junior Firpo. Probably one of the best left backs in the division last season.
Yes.
Had an incredible season. You've got options in midfield, but let's say he goes with Ampadu and Rothwell. There's your 2, right? Goes with Dan James on the right, Willie Nanto on the left, Georgia Rudder on the 10, Matteo Joseph up front. Now, this is where it gets interesting. You've got a bench then of Bamford, Pirro, Aronson, Byram, Vober.
Yeah.
Probably missing somebody. Gruev. And then your sub goalkeeper who was Narrow. There's 7. Yeah. We didn't have that last year. And already that's better than it was. Last year you had Cooper, Shackleton, Creswell, and 2 goalkeepers, Klassen and Van der Heuvel on the bench. Yeah. None of whom were used last year or barely used last season. So it's a much stronger squad already. Yes, the gaps do need to be filled. They do. Yeah. Because 1 or 2 injuries and that becomes a bit thinner. Yes. But I believe that they will be filled.
Yeah.
And until they're not, I believe that they will be. Until the window's closed and it hasn't happened, I will believe it will happen. So until that point, there's just I'm not sticking loads of negative comments up on the screen. I've honestly had enough of this week, so I'm not going to do it. So we'll crack on. We'll talk about the positive stuff. But we're looking forward to a game here. Doom scrolling can happen elsewhere. The game against Valencia, you mentioned we played them quite a lot. We have played them a reasonable amount of times for a European club, and as you said, it's not always been great for us. And the results that we've had against them, there's a couple there. I'm just pulling them off the Leeds website here real quick. Head-to-head, 2 wins, 3 draws, 1 loss, but none of them in Ellen Road.
Yeah, all of the
23, 24 positions. Yeah, Leeds finished 3rd in the championship. Valencia finished 9th in La Liga. So a decent pedigree of players coming in here. Good side. Will give us an awful lot to worry about. Will be a test to see where this team is. As you said, the result isn't important, but you want to see a performance. And you want to get an idea what Fark is thinking about going into that Portsmouth game, which is ultimately what this game is entirely for, is just to get us ready for that moment. So, at that point, I'm I'm okay. I think we're
Yeah.
okay. But what are you expecting from Valencia stats?
Oh, I don't know too much about them because I haven't watched much Spanish football of late, but they're all the continental style. I know the way when Baraka was in the team was trying to get the ball down, and obviously back in 2000 and 2001 they reached the Champions League final on both occasions, lost 3-0 to Madrid, and I think they lost on penalties to Bayern Munich in 2001. Oliver Kahn had to save the final penalty. So I think it'll be a good test. I think you always only get Spanish sides that come to play, and we've seen what Spain did in the Euros to England: pass and move, pass and move, pass and move. I think it'll be a good test of them, and I think we'll see where Leeds are. Say the result doesn't matter. It's all about sort of fitness and minutes in the bodies as well. So I think it'll be a good test for Leeds. I think it'll be a bit of pass and move, fast-paced game, and it's a game that we're very much looking forward to. And I'm hoping they're playing their away kit tomorrow, because sometimes in the past I have worn their away kit on the odd occasion for the home friendly. So that'll be nice. It's been an absolute bestseller. So looking forward to it. I think it'll be a good game. Two good teams going, hammer and tongue at it, raring to go ahead of the Portsmouth game. I think Leeds are just a little bit ahead in their pre-season preparations, and the Valencia. I think the Spanish season may start a week or so later than the English season.
Yeah, it does. So they're probably a little bit behind us, but then we were behind two other clubs.
Yes.
Against Hanover and Schalke, and we still performed.
Yes,
So they're at the business end of their pre-season anyway. So you'll get a bit of a test and see how much rotation goes on with the squads, how often the subs are used, what they do there as well. So there's a ton of stuff there. But it's an exciting game. It's great to have these games before the start of the season. It gives us stuff that we want to see in the next couple of years. We want to see Leeds back in Europe. We want to see Leeds competing with these clubs, and it's great to get a little bit of a taste or a sample of it. And we've had some really, really, really decent performances in this game. I mean, Bamford wore the armband last year. I think it was last year's preseason friendly, last game of the season. I think he scored in that game as well. We had a cracking one, or could have been the year before.
Yes,
but it's always been decent games at this point, and a nice showcase to open the season for the fans.
Yeah, and it gets the fans sort of whets their appetite. They beat the 1-6-2, I think, in the last sort of pre-season friendly ahead of the 22-23 campaign. Unfortunately, that season ended in relegation. I'm sure this one won't. Hopefully this one will end in promotion. So it just gets a bit of minutes, gets everyone excited, gets everyone itching to go. It'll be good to see a few familiar faces back down at Ellen Road tomorrow.
I'd say you're giddy.
I am a bit. So this time next week, I'll be sort of jumping off the rooftops ahead of the new season. I'm not a big international football fan. Yes, I wanted England to do well. Of course I did, because I'm English at the end of the day. But England not winning the Euros didn't upset me. It might upset a lot more people. I'm more club football. I was gutted when Leeds lost the playoff final to Southampton. It's done now. It's water under the bridge. It's a new start. It's a new era. We go again next Saturday, start of another marathon. And I always get excited at stage of the season, whatever league we're in. I remember the Tranmere game back in 2007, we were in League One. And my excitement was, even though we started at -15, was incredible, because it was a new adventure, going to grounds we've never been to before, the likes of Yeovil that we'd never played before in a competitive game, for example. And I don't think we'd ever been to the Liberty Stadium to play Swansea. They've never been to the Old Vetch Field, Cheltenham Town, another one. So, yeah, it's exciting. Every football fan at this stage of a season is exciting. There's a start of the Scottish Championship tonight. That's Scottish Leagues all start over the weekend, and I'm sure every fan in Scotland is feeling the same. So, yeah, I'm always excited. I'm always positive, and we've got an opportunity to right the wrongs of last season and hit the ground running. And if we can get a positive result against Portsmouth next weekend, I'm sure everyone around Ellen Road will be buzzing. Come 3 o'clock next Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course they will. Paul, yes, the game is being shown on LUTV. There's a $4.99 match pass. I believe you can check that out over on legionnight.com. You'll get the details there for that as well. Just to wrap it up with Bazzy, no issue with opinions, Baz. I get DMs from people. I get messages from people. I get tagged in tons of comments every day of people just moaning, and I have to read all of that stuff. And at some point, it starts to bring me down. I don't want to be down. Okay, I've got stuff in my own life I want to deal with. No issue with the opinions, but I'm getting bombarded with negativity when there's so far nothing on the pitch to suggest anything's wrong. We've lost players. We knew we'd lose them. Yeah, correct. Somerville was always going to go. Everyone knew that. Archie was a disappointment, but it was a PSR situation. Unfortunately, Nobody bid for any other Leeds player except for Archie, and that was the problem. So that's where the situation that we're in until we start losing games. And bearing in mind, the first month of last season was a disaster, and we still nearly got promoted, just missed out on the playoffs and just missed out on the automatics. Leeds get 6 points in the opening month of the season. We're flying. We're off to a flyer. We're fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, until I see a performance on the pitch that suggests there's a problem, or if we don't fill the gaps, and when we don't fill the gaps, I'll be the first person that says we've left ourselves short. Yeah. But until that happens, and it hasn't happened yet, I will push forward. We should all push forward, looking forward to the season and what's going to happen. So we'll see what happens, and that's the whole point, I suppose. So let's just keep pushing forward, and let's hope for the best, plan for the worst, and hope for the best, and we should be all okay. Yeah. That's the most important part for me. And I just want to clarify that as well. So nothing against you, Bazzy, nothing personal, mate. You've got an opinion, totally entitled to that, no issues at all. But yeah, we want to talk about the game. We want to talk about the game.
I tend to scroll past a lot of people's opinion. People are entitled to opinion. I've no issue with that. But negativity, we've not started the season yet. And I'm reading stuff on social media that's derogatory against the club, against the 49ers. And I think, whoa. Hang on a second here. We came ever so close to winning promotion. In any other normal season last season, would have gone up. It wasn't to be Leicester and Ipswich were absolutely brilliant, and it wasn't our time to go up. We've got another opportunity and a manager that knows what he's doing. That got 90 points last season, which is a second club record after Bielsa, I think, got 93 in 2019-20 season. So reason to be positive. Yes, Somerville is going to leave. Leave with my best wishes. Had a brilliant season last season. Wish him all the best at West Ham. So let's bring on. Let's get Valencia done and dusted, and let's get on that training pitch from Monday onwards. I think they'll probably do a press conference probably next Thursday ahead of the big one against Portsmouth next week. And I am giddy. I'm excited. I love to get back to Ellen Road. It's a bit like a second home after Emma's and mine, or probably a third home. So yeah, really excited. And this time next week, I'll be literally bouncing off the walls. I have to just calm me down a little bit this time next week.
Yeah, absolutely. Anthony, am I going to do a live view? I'm not doing any watch alongs ever. No. Ever. You don't need to see that. Baz thinks I'm wound up now. You should see me watching football. This is me pretty chill. You should see me. And anyone who's watching this who knows me as a coach, I'm pretty chill right now. I'm pretty chill. No one needs to see me reacting to live football. And there was a couple of people, Dawn from Leeds Apparel will have witnessed me standing behind her and at a couple of games last year, losing my mind. So no one needs to see that live. And also, you've got some brilliant content creators who make some fantastic watch alongs. You've got Connor, you've got Max, you've got Joe. They all do watch alongs. We don't need another one. You don't need me ranting and raving and screaming around the place. So yeah, it's fine. You don't need that. But we are trying to do some other stuff. Yes. We mentioned a couple of weeks ago, but we're not going to go into it until we know we can do it or not. But we will get you more information as that. We've got ideas, stats. But we have to just make sure we're doing it the right way, go through the proper approval process, see if we can get it done. And if we can, we will do some stuff. But there will be a match day review after this game. And I'm bringing somebody onto the channel who I've spoken to from another Leeds channel that's unfortunately closed down. But is coming on to do the match reviews. A person that I used to really enjoy listening to his match reviews. So I asked him, would he consider doing it? And he said, yes, he would. So does he tidy it up over the weekend and make sure it's okay? We'll find out with Sunday or Monday, but there will be a review of the game as well. Stats is here as well. If I can get stats on the review as well, assuming times work for everybody, we'll have a nice big group of people to talk about the game as well. So yeah, it'll all be fine. So we're excited about that. But let's talk about what you want to see from the game tomorrow, Stats. What do you want to see from this Leeds United side tomorrow?
I think just more of the same, what we saw in the last two games in Germany, some fast, free-flowing football. And you look at the goal that Joseph scored. Great cross from Rutter, wasn't it? Was it Rutter from the right-hand side? Bogle, sorry. Do apologise. Bogle from the right-hand side. And yeah, just more of the same, really. And yeah, looking forward to it, getting the introduction to the crowd and what have you, and just the raring to go ahead of the Portsmouth game next weekend. So I'm sure Daniel will have had them in training this week. We'll probably watch the videos from Valencia to know what to expect. It is only a friendly. We know that. We don't want to see anyone pick up any injuries ahead of the new campaign. That's the last thing that the Leeds probably wants. So yeah, just more of the same. Keep going, building up the fitness. A couple of goals will be absolutely lovely in front of the home crowd. And yeah, let's get a goal from a free kick will be delightful, and probably another one from a corner that we had in one of the preseason games in Germany. Against Harrogate, should I say. So, yeah, more of the same. Result irrelevant. Performance Hopefully will be a good one and ready for the Pompey game next weekend.
We've technically kind of scored 2 corners in pre-season.
Yes.
Kind of.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to seeing Joe Rothwell in a competitive team.
Definitely.
That's what I'm really looking forward to seeing that. I want to see what he looks like. I've been really impressed with what I've seen from him so far in pre-season. He's a really tidy footballer. I think he'll be very, very strong for us. And I'm excited to see Mateo Joseph starting with the first team players around him and giving a good 90 minutes under his belt and seeing what he can do. I want to see that. And I keep saying this, and I'm going to double down on this until it doesn't happen. I would be shocked if you don't see Mateo Joseph scoring a bag load of goals with a near post run from a Jaden Bogle across this season. I'm excited about that. There's a lot of stuff I'm really excited about.
Yeah.
And what I've seen from Brendan Aronson so far, and he has got work to do.
Yes.
He does have work to do. He knows he does it himself, which is okay, which is good. But I've been really excited with what he's done so far. That no-look pass against Hanover was beautiful. Yes. And I'm excited to see those kind of different profiles of players that we didn't necessarily have last year.
Absolutely.
And see what they can do for Leeds. And there's I'm kind of excited because it is a different looking team. Like last season was kind of the team that came down with a couple of additions to it and a few that left. So. But this is a different looking Leeds team. Like we didn't start the season with Firpo last year. We didn't really see him until the second half of the season. We'll get him from the start this year. I think Bogle's going to get people off their seats. I think he's going to be exciting player.
Yeah.
I think Luke Ayling promotion season, bombing down the wing. Just bombing down the wing.
Absolutely brilliant.
So, yeah, there's a lot to be excited about. There's a lot to look forward to. We have a lovely third kit that's going to come out soon as well. That's a nice thing to look forward to as well. Yeah, my Leeds yellow shirt has finally been dispatched today. So I'll get it sometime in the next month or so once it clears customs in Ireland. So there's that. There's a lot of good stuff to look forward to. We've got some exciting young players coming through as well. We've seen it this summer, like Sam Chambers, Luca Thomas, Harry Christie in goal, Harry Gray when he does get back from his injury. There's a lot of really exciting young players coming through. And Charlie Crew as well is going to be a player that I think Leeds fans will like, because he seems to like a bit of a tackle as well, although maybe lead the foot slows down a little bit. But you know what I mean. But again, really good. And as Scooby saying here, new captain, new number 9, about bloody time. But we've had a decade of our number 6, Liam Cooper, wearing the captain's armband, and now we've got a brand new fresh start with a new captain coming into the season and a new man leading the line, not wearing the number 9 shirt, but hopefully will be leading the line. It's a very fresh looking Leeds team, and I'm here for that. They're young, they're exciting, and they're keen. Young players, especially with a season 2 under their belt, are very keen to make an impression. And Mateo Joseph, to me, doesn't strike me as any kind of player that's lacking in confidence or belief in himself.
Absolutely. And just a word on Coops, if and when it does come out that he has left the football club. He's been a magnificent servant for this football club. He's captained the side 222 times, same time as Trevor Cherry, and he's second in an all-time list of captain, joint second captain for the promotion winning season. Seen it all from the Cellino era when David Hockaday took over. And it was actually David Hockaday that brought him in to the football club, right through to Daniel Farkas. Had 10-11 managers as well. He's been a magnificent servant. I will talk more about Liam Cooper once it is announced that which it sounds like he's going to depart the football club. I think Daniel mentioned that at the Harrogate game as well. So, a lot to look forward to. I just kind of want to finish a little bit on a somber note, unfortunately. Yesterday was that we found out the tragic passing of former Leicester City, Aston Villa, Norwich City coach, Grimsby Town, West Brom, Warsaw player Craig Shakespeare at the age of 60 through cancer. And it just brings it home how precious life is, really. And Craig was a massive part of Leicester City's unbelievable championship winning season for the Premier League in 2015-2016 with Claudio Ranieri as assistant. He took over the football club when Ranieri left. I think he was diagnosed with cancer last year, sadly, and tragically he lost his life just age 60. So all the thoughts on the channel will go through to Craig's friends and family, and may he rest in peace.
Yeah, I said it in the news this morning as well. At times like this, rivalries in football stops and a bit of reality kicks in. For me, 60 years of age, young man, I lost my dad in his early 60s as well to cancer. So I can tell you there's a lot of life to live after 60. And I know I, for one, would very much love to have my father still around today. He's still only be in his very, very early 70s. So, in these moments, it's important just to take a second to stop to, thank Craig Shakespeare for everything he did in football, but bigger than that, to make sure that our condolences go to his family and his friends and everyone at Leicester City Football Club and the people that are around Craig Shakespeare, and hope they're okay during this really, really tough time, because he was a good servant of the game as well. And
Certainly was.
Did his time very, very well and always presented himself very professionally as well. So that should be said, and it should be a good moment to take a time to recognise Craig Shakespeare's life as well as what he's given to sport as well.
Absolutely.
Folks, we'll wrap it up on that somber note today. Don't forget, get back down to Ellen Road tomorrow. Make some noise. Make the place jump. Let's welcome Valencia to Ellen Road. And let's start the season with a bit of a bang. Let's get everyone moving before we kick off against Portsmouth next week. We will have a match day preview with stats next week before the game. We'll have some other bits and pieces hopefully sorted out by then. We can give you some information as and when we get that. And there will be some form of a review after the weekend as well. So possibly Sunday evening, possibly Monday. Keep an eye out for that as well. And today's news videos is floating around as well. There's some interesting pieces from Baron Cross around a potential changing of role for Willie Gnonto, which I, for one, be very excited about. I want to see Willie Gnonto take the number 10 shirt, play on the left, and stick around for another year and bang us back into the Premier League and do it the right way. Would love to see that. Folks, enjoy the rest of your day. Stats, thank you as always, my friend. I really appreciate it. See you soon. Bye.